What's up guys, today we're going to be painting, unboxing, putting together one of these Valkyr heavy troopers. So this is what they look like. Unboxing this is the Valkyr heavy trooper. Trench Crusade proxies. And let's get into it, let's take a look. Go ahead, take a look. We got 4 sprues, they're all the same. There we go. Now I have a little background, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these pieces here. Helmets I plan on using, weapons, a couple of the hands, shoulder pads here, legs, beefy. More weapons, so dagger right here, backs, the regular flat back matched with number and letter, so you're gonna go based on that. Here's some of those helmets I don't like too much, as well as a couple more I do like a lot in the back. And yeah, let's go ahead and pull one together. So here I'm going to be using the wood burner to actually flatten out some of the little mold lines, and then I'm also going to be using the wood burner to give it some scratches, texturing, detail like that, so you'll see what that looks like. Now, I have heard that the shoulder pads are one of the most important parts of these models, and the eye is drawn to the shoulder pads, so I'm really trying to put in the time, get rid of the mold lines, the fill, the little spigot line, flatten it out, give it a little bit of scratches as well as texture. So I'm using the file and the wood burner here, and yeah, we can go ahead, see how they fit, and start putting them on. Now, we're not all perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and share one of my shortcomings when I put these guys together, and that's that I put on way too much super glue, and some of the details get lost, and it is what it is. I think if I were to get an extra thin glue and be a little more careful, I could make it better. But let's start accessorizing him, because this is one of my favorite parts. So we'll put a little bag here on the back. Now I like to think of these mechanized heavy infantry as sort of pack animals. You know, they have power armor, or they have the mechanized armor, and they can carry a lot. So I see their comrades trying to use them as sort of a mule. So we're going to load them up with all sorts of stuff. We're going to put the dagger here next to where the cross icon is going to be, and then he's got the bag on the back. And in a little bit, you're going to actually see me struggle with trying to give him a little roll, like a camping roll, that I wanted to put above that bag in the back. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get it to go, so I decided instead he should be carrying an artillery piece. So we're going to get that in a little bit. Let me just do some texturing here. And funnily enough, during the priming process at some point right here, I knock off that little bit, so you'll see me glue it back on later, but using the cheapest black spray paint I have from very far away to get a super fine mist. Start priming it, try to save as many details as I can, show it off, and we're going to put it to dry. Woohoo, painting time. So we're gonna mix up a little green here, and I like to put a little bit of soap in my paints because it helps it flow a little evenly. I'm gonna start off with the dark green on a lot of the underside, the bottom half a little lighter on the top. Here you see me gluing it to a lighter because I needed a little handle, so let's start painting.
Пълно уважение към братята роми. Винаги аз много обичам тяхната музика. Разбира се, кой не я. Но много ме кефи как
As promised, let's get the new artillery piece, and in a little bit I'm going to be giving it some straps using paint. So I apply the paint on really thick, and it actually gives it some volume, so it looks like a strap going around the artillery shell up there, but we'll do that in a sec. Let's get some general highlights going while the paint's still wet, a little bit of wet blending. Let's take a moment to appreciate how, as I was doing the eyes there, that music was getting crazy. Alright, let's get some of the highlights down on the cape and brush them in. Get that thing popping, and then we're probably going to do some highlights on some of the little side bits as well as the upper bag. Yeah, at this point, as I paint, some of my green layers are drying, and I can come back with a lighter green, start hitting some of the higher spots, and in the end we're actually going to hit it with a very light green. But yeah, let's get some highlights and keep chugging.
Business number one, making money in a kilogram. Oh, ashugari kari, sugar kina si, iskam da si moya asla kina kina. Ashugari kari, sugar mama si, iskam da opitama, sugar kina, tirikta kunkini da, juma juma.
Alright, and as we finish it up with that very light green that I was telling you about, this is a white, green, and a little bit of soap. I'm going to get those highlights, hit the edges so that the whole model can pop and you can really see that shape. And come back, do a little bit on the eyes. Now, sorry for blocking the camera, but I'm trying to put a little bit of blue glow in there. That's my new NTR color scheme. And as I do a little bit of dry brushing and edge highlighting on the rest of the armor and the gun here, I want to say this has been a very fun little guy to paint. I am by no means a professional, but as I finish up the freehand here and just overall the model has come a long way. If you go back, look at some of my much older videos, I didn't really film my painting, but I do have a lot of them filmed when they're finished, and it's a completely different result. I used to paint with two coats. Basically, once I primed it black with white from above, I'd hit it with a watered down base color, so that'd be my green or whatever it may be, and then I would hit it with a black glaze for the recesses, and that would be about it. Sorry, I record these voiceovers while I walk my dog, and as you can hear, we ran into a little neighbor puppy, and they had a little conversation. Anyway, here we're doing the gun, hitting all the tippity top points with pure white. so that they really stand out. And we're also probably going to go back, do some of the buttons, little bits of armor. I'm very excited because it comes with 12 units in the box, but it also has a whole bunch of extra weapons, heads, and stuff like that that I could use for kit bashing. So I think this was a nice little purchase. Came out to 40 bucks, which, you know, in today's day and age is really not that bad. But yeah, as we come up to the end here, you can see those eyes got a very watered down blue in there, so they look like they're glowing. We're gonna do a little bit of brown mud for the shoes, so he looks like he's been in the trenches. Some places we're gonna ride the mud up a little bit further, and in just a sec it's gonna be clear coat time. And with the final little bit of dry brushing, we haven't finished. Let me go ahead and put a little clear coat on him, give him a little spin around, show you guys what we have. I'm very excited to paint more because obviously they can be a lot better, but just this guy is for my second really good figure. Basically very happy. I'm happy I made the purchase, and you guys know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, send me happy good night. Bye bye.